Alrighty, guys, just getting things finalized here, set up, and ready to roll, 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 roll. All right, let's see. All right, well, welcome. This is your host, ID Jester. Starting another new project. Yes, another new project. I've still got a lot of other projects in the works. Yes, it's true. And I know that Retro Sports Network and Dave from Baseball Demos and myself had a nice conversation about having too many projects on your channel and blah, blah, blah. But I ended up buying a bunch of Dynasty League baseball cards, and the only reason I can justify buying those is if I actually use them. Well, I did the same thing with APBA. Wanted to get tried APBA. I know there's a lot of APBA players out there. I had played it in the past, a long time ago, haven't played it recently. It was really the only system that I don't currently own was APBA, so I ended up purchasing some season cards from someone that was selling them, and then I decided to buy the basic rule book and the advanced rule book, and of course the hockey edition, which we did the other day from APBA, and give it another try. So the only reason I can justify making these APBA purchases is if I actually use them, right? So we're going to be starting another project. Well, the seasons I bought were 1986, 1970, and those were the versions that actually had the advanced stats on the cards. And then the 1981 and 82 seasons without the advanced information on the cards. So I decided I like the look of these better. Uh, the older 82, 83 sets are, well, let me show you. All right, it comes with this nice little fold out that has all the advanced stats on them and everything, right? But the cards, if you look at the cards here, the cards are older. You can tell because they've been faded a little bit. It does have the extra players that came out in a perforated set, which you can kind of see there. But still, there are always like 22 to 23 cards in this set. And they don't have the master numbers on them. Like I said, you get that from this, but that's a lot of extra work and stuff. But so it really came down to the 1970 season and the 1986 season that I was going to replay. Let me put this stuff away over here. So yeah, we're going to give a little introduction here before we actually get to playing. So if you're watching this afterwards on YouTube, if you're looking for just gameplay, you can fast forward it for a little bit. We're going to be talking for a little bit. All right, so it really came down to the 1970 season and 1986 seasons because these were the cards that I had purchased. And you can see these card sets comes with a ton of players. I think I counted like 38 and 30. I'm sorry, 28 and 30 cards. So I'm not sure if they have the extra players in these sets as well or not, but there's plenty of players and was able to get the lineups no problem for the 1986 season. So the next question was, well, if I'm going to play the 1986 season, what am I going to do with these cards? What would make me interested in playing? So I'm going to actually switch you over to my desktop here. We're gonna look and kind of analyze and show. When I say baseball 1986, for you baseball experts out there, probably the first thing that everybody thinks of is 1986. It's the ball that goes through Buckner's legs. Mets come back and win it, and that's pretty much the moment of 1986 that everybody goes down and thinks about and remembers throughout history, right? Because, well, Billy Buckner, God rest his soul. He just died recently, unfortunately. But so that's what he'll be known for. And even though he had a pretty stellar career, it was actually Billy Buckner was on my Kansas City replay from 1989 season with my Bo Jackson. So it was fun seeing him every time a ball rolled to him. Of course, I would call out, and it rolls between his legs and goes into the corner. So, ah. So if we look, so this is the way I kind of analyze when I'm looking. Okay, so I'm going to do the 1986 season, but what am I going to do in the 1986 season? Well, of course, we could do Boston, right? But problem with that is between Clinton Parks, Al Red Sox fan, Eric from Higher Ground Gaming, Retro Sports Network, and everyone else out there, you get a ton of Boston Red Sox stuff. And to be honest, it's kind of overload sometimes. Everybody's putting up Boston this, Boston that, Boston this, Boston that. So I'm just doesn't make sense for me to do a Boston as well when there's so many other Boston things out there. Well, then we can go to the Mets, right? Well, yes and no. Um, the Mets are kind of my good friend out there, Combat Painter. It's kind of his team. He's doing a lot of Mets replays and this, that, and the other thing. And so I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Not that he would not approve of it or anything like that. I think he would actually enjoy seeing a Mets replay from someone else. But that's kind of his thing, and I don't want to take away from the wonderful stuff he does. If you're a Mets fan, obviously, Combat Painter, check out his channel. Wonderful channel. And of course, the guys that do the Boston Red Sox stuff, Al Red Sox fan, Clinton Parks, Retro Sports Network, Higher Ground Gaming. These are all wonderful channels as well. So you gotta, take out the Red Sox and take out the Mets just for those two reasons. So then the next thing I would look at is okay, let's see if we're not going to play those two teams. What was kind of the best races that involved in the 1986 season? And you can see the 1986 season was kind of not really, the main season was not really super cool. I mean, the Mets won by 21 and a half games, so that division was over a long time before the season ended. Not much drama there. In the National League West, the Astros won by 10 games, so not a lot of intrigue there. Uh, then you see the Yankees and the Red Sox. So the Yankees only 5.5 back. That makes things interesting and not too far out. But I am doing a 2004 Yankees replay, so I don't want to jump on the Yankees again. So they're kind of out at this point too. So that brings us to California and Houston, which were the runner-ups for the World Series. Obviously, they lost in the playoffs. California ended up only 5 games ahead of Texas, which that was actually the closest division coming down the wire. They ended up, having to pull that one out at the end. So I started researching the California Angels, saying, well, do I want to play the California Angels? Or, you could play anybody, obviously. If you're a Detroit Tigers fan, even though they end up 8.5 back, you could play them. Or, the Expos, and even though they end up 29.5 back. But I try to, when I do a replay, I try to relate to people out there, and this is just me. I mean, I relate to each baseball season as, the most memorable thing, or one of the most memorable things that happened during that season. If you look at my replays, we got the 2011 St. Louis Cardinals, obviously coming back, wild card team, going to the World Series, one strike away from losing, ended up winning. Everybody will remember that. It's the greatest season in baseball history ever. That can be debated, which I would be happy to have that debate. Maybe, in fact, one night we will have that debate. That sounds like a good topic. I'll get my good friends Dave from Baseball Demos and Ron from Retro Sports Network and Sports Time Machine Utah Mike out there. Get my baseball guys on my channel, and we can discuss who and why is the best baseball season. Although You don't have to be a St. Louis Cardinals fan to enjoy the 2011 season. If you just look at the last day, the last games, September 28th, 2011, there was 8 games that day to determine who was playing in the playoffs and what their seeding was going to be. Now, you can compare that to any other season out there, and no other season had that drama involved with it. We're not even talking about the drama of teams coming back from 7-0 deficits to win it, or teams that were on the cusp of winning their division and then losing it, et cetera, et cetera. We won't go into too much detail. Max Cornelius is in the house. Thank you, brother. Thanks for coming out. So, again, I relate to my replays based upon the most important and most memorable kind of moments that happened that season. 1995. Everybody remembers Griffey's slide, right? Griffey's slide is like the most iconic moment from that. So obviously that's what we're doing. 95. 2000 or the 1992 Pittsburgh Pirates replay, inches from winning that series, and this throw just offline, the tag not in time. Atlanta goes on and goes to the playoffs. Pittsburgh's knocked out of the playoffs. So obviously, my 2004 New York Yankees replay. The most memorable things is in 2004. Ask anyone out there, what are they going to remember? Red Sox come back from a 3-0 deficit in the playoffs to take on the St. Louis Cardinals and win their first World Series, right? So Yankees had their chances to knock the Red Sox out of the playoffs. And so that is, for me, a dramatic and important events that happened in that season. So if I look at the 1986 season, it's not the dramatic Red Sox Mets that we've just talked about. Buckner going through the legs, the ball between his legs, and of course the Mets coming back in Game 7 being down. But let's talk about what really happened. Really happened in 1986. For those of you who've forgotten, Sports Time Machine is here, along with 82 and 86, the two-team Gene match. Regrets and wishes he had back. Angels history. We're going to talk about exactly what Sports Time Machine just talked about. So the most iconic moment in the 1986 season, the ball between Buckner's legs in the playoffs, should have never happened. Should have never happened. Most people, myself included, as I said, once I decided, well, we're not playing the Red Sox, we're not going to play the Mets, so it came down to the Angels or the Astros or one of the second place teams, but really none of the second place teams had much of a chance in this season. So if you look at the Astros, which are a really good choice, actually, for 1986, if we're going to do a replay, because of the regular season was kind of a drag, winning by 10 games, not very close, but obviously very important series against the Mets in the playoffs, very dramatic series between Astros and the Mets in the 86 season. So, but when you start researching and finding out some stuff, which I like to do before I actually jump in and just say, oh, I'm going to play this team, right? The California Angels, right? The ball between Buckner's legs should have never happened because most people forget that the California Angels were actually ahead in this series 3-1 over the Red Sox. And not only that, but the Angels blew a 3-run lead in the 9th inning of Game 5 that included a 2-out, 2-strike home run to Dave Henderson. In other words, the Angels were 1 strike away from going to the World Series, and therefore Buckner's ball between the legs would have never happened had the California Angels closed this out. And they actually ended up losing in extra innings in this game. So the California Angels, 1 strike away from getting that last out to go on to their first World Series ever, knocking the Red Sox out. Of course, everyone, was going to say, well, you hate Boston, so that's why you want to With my 2004 Yankees trying to knock the Red Sox out. Now we got the 1986 California Angels trying to knock the Red Sox out as well. So you can say that. I mean, that's kind of part of it. But again, it wouldn't have mattered if it was the Red Sox or somebody else. I mean, if you take the most iconic moment from 1986, we're talking about the ball between Buckner's legs in the World Series. I'm not doing a Red Sox and I'm not doing a Mets replay for the reasons given. So the next choice would be the Angels and the Astros. And if you look at which one of those two teams would be the most interesting, the fact is the California Angels were one strike, 3-run lead in the ninth, give it up to Dave Henderson. And of course, the Red Sox would go on to win that series in 7 games, go on to face the Mets. So we're going to play the California Angels. The other thing I would look at is I would say, okay, well, this seems like something really, really good. Something to bring back the attention of what actually happened in that season to most people that go, oh, yeah, I forgot. That's right. California did have a 3-1 lead, and they should have actually won that series, and Boston would have never been in the World Series. The next thing I look at is actually, how many games they actually won their division by or lost their division by. And the closest series race in the 1986 was the California Angels and the Texas Rangers. Only 5 games separated these two teams. So Gene Autry regretted. Yep. Most regretful decisions or outcome, whatever you want to call it. So the other thing I said is what I would like to do is actually play a team that people can relate to because it has some players on there that people remember, can relate to. So I looked at California to look at, and I'm certainly not a California expert, but I was looking through their player list. I'm like, oh, John Candelaria, I remember him. Chuck Finley, I remember him. Don Sutton, remember him. Let's see, Doug DeCinces, remember him. Of course, Reggie Jackson. Who doesn't remember Reggie Jackson? Of course, if you're a baseball fan at all, Reggie Jackson's on this team. And of course, depending on your knowledge of in history of baseball, you probably Devin White. Remember him? So there's probably a lot of players. Jack Howell, Wally Joyner. So there's probably a good 10 to 15 players on this team that most people can relate to and go, oh yeah, I remember that name. Maybe they don't remember the player, like myself. Bob Boone, actually, from my Kansas City replay. There's actually a couple players on here that actually played in my 1989 Kansas City replay. So obviously they got traded at some points out there between teams. So I thought, oh, okay, well, California, they got 10 to 15 players that most people would remember. And they also had that dramatic playoff series with Boston, and they had the closest division race in the 1986 season. So I decided to do California Angels as a replay to see how they play and justify my purchase for APBA and the card sets and the rule books and everything like that. So let's talk about APBA, and as you can see, oh no, you can't see because I've still got it on my desktop. Oops. So that's kind of the long-winded explanation of why and how we're going to be doing this replay. So you can see I've went out, purchased APBA baseball. I even purchased the Game Master edition of APBA because I thought, well, since I got the Master Edition cards, right, the Master Edition cards with the Master Edition numbers and stats and everything on them, I should probably get the Master Edition book, and then we'll use the Master Edition, right? There's about 10, 15 pages of rules and detailed explanations on how to use the master set. It's not too bad once you read it and sit down with the actual books in front of you and the actual charts and stuff. You can kind of see what they're talking about. It's not really too bad. The only problem that I see with the Master Edition is it kind of adds a lot. It does add a lot more to the game, but because of the extra complexity, it's going to take mm, longer to play it than a normal game, I guess is the best way to put it. Obviously, more complexity means more things to look up, more roles, more charts, more this, more that, more of everything. You add that more stuff in, then your pie grows and it's going to be bigger and take you a little bit longer. So the debate for me has been, for the last couple days, am I going to use the master rules and additions as opposed to the normal everyday edition? I don't know what they call this, the basic edition. Even though it's basic, there are some advanced rules in here actually. Uh, and there's pages and pages. There's like 3 or 4 pages of optional extra rules to kind of add complexity to the game. And when you got Stratomatic, if you compare it to Stratomatic, if you're familiar with Stratomatic, you got your basic edition, you got your advanced, and you got your super advanced edition. I would call APBA kind of the basic edition on par with the Stratomatic basic edition in complexity and charts and all that. I would also say that APBA basic with the advanced options thrown in is probably excuse me. There's the optional fielding grading for advanced players, the optional scoring rules, the optional grade enhancements and defensive ratings, optional base coaching rules. There's an optional injury rules system, positional infielders playing out of position, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, there's just a few things that you can add to it, which takes it kind of from like a basic game to I would call it, maybe a basic advanced. I don't think it's as advanced as the Stratomatic advanced is. Still think it's a little more basic than that, even with the extra options in there. Uh, Whether that's a good thing or bad thing, it's just different. You're comparing apples and oranges at this point. But I'm just kind of giving you guys a time frame ish. But then if you try and add the master editions, right? The master edition for this is kind of what I would call equal to, on par with, or maybe even more complex than Stratomatic super advanced rules. And mostly it's because of this nonsense, right? Mostly it's because of this nonsense. A single to right, and then you have all these numbers separated by slashes and stars and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And this basically gives you the advancement to runners on the single to right. If there's, in this case, there's a runner on second base, what happens to that runner on second base? And you can see it's an algorithm of 55 numbers that you have to calculate through. And not only that, but you have to take the 38, which is your out number, unless there's 2 outs, that's what the star stands for, then in that case it would be 48. Well, let's just take the 38. So you take the 38, that's your base number, right? Then what you have to do is you have to take your runner's speed, right? So you have your runner's speed, let's say this guy's at a speed of 6, and then you have to take the outfielder's arm. So let's find the outfielder's arm. We'll just say, we'll take this guy for an example here. The outfielder's arm is the 34. So you take the 6 for the speed and you subtract it from the 34, and you get a 28. So you get a number that's 28. Then you take that 28 number, right, and you compare it to the number that is on the actual chart. In this case, I think we were using 38, right? So you take the 28 and you subtract it from the 38, and that gives you 10. So that gives you your number that you need to advance from one base to the other on a simple single through short. You have to do all that calculations. Not only that, but then you have to go and let's see here. You have to go all the way to the back of the book because there is a little chart back here somewhere if I can find the damn thing. Well, I gotta get to the end of the book actually. So So be patient with me, guys, just for a moment here as I try to find the back of the book here. There we go. All right, so slide that up. All right, so then there's another chart in the back of the book, the base runner advancement chart, where you got to roll on this, and then, let's say you end up with a 20 left, right? You roll on this chart, and then whatever number you roll, then you look underneath it to see if you're safe or out. So all of that calculations, oh, my friend, we'll talk about that here in just a second. We'll talk about that here in just a second. My good friend out there. We'll talk about that here in just a second. So the Master Game Edition, right? To be honest, it is quite a big step up. It is quite a big step up between the basic and the basic with the optional rules, and then the Master Edition is a big step up. Not, normally you're not going to get, those crazy result numbers, but every time you do, if you roll a 7, you're going to get this single to right, 39 star 49 slash 41 star 51 slash 44 star 54 right field in parentheses shortstop to second base, third base, and then in parentheses bats right. Then you do it all over with different numbers. It can turn into an exercise to, obviously the more you play it, the easier and everything it'll get, right? Because of that fact. But you can still end up with those algorithms of numbers that you have to try to roll, calculate, figure out. And like I said, it's not just that number. The problem I have with that number is the fact that you have to take your runner's speed, subtract it from the arm. You also have to adjust whether or not they're being held on first base, and also the pitcher's grade if they have a certain move to first grade on it. In this case, he's a +2, so he would adjust that down 1 point. And it can really turn into a math equation that, again, the more you play it, the easier it gets. And there's no problem with that. The more you play it, the more familiar you get with anything, no matter what it is. I mean, when I started playing Stratomatic, I was not familiar with it as much, and now I'm flying through that game pretty good, and I've gotten a lot of help from Sports Time Machine and all my other Stratomatic friends out there that helped me. And it made it much smoother and quicker. Now I look at the charts, I roll, a lot of times now I can roll on them and not even have to look up things because I now know the system. So just like that, you can also look at APBA. I'm not saying anything negative about APBA, don't get me wrong, okay? But the more familiar you get with it, the easier and quicker and better you're going to get at it, obviously. Now, I am new to APBA. It's been I actually ordered APBA about, it's been at least 15 years ago, 10 to 15 years ago, all right? I'm not sure exactly when. I know me and my wife were married at the time. I ordered it. I got it. I didn't have helpers. I didn't have any friends on the internet. I tried to learn it by just looking at the rule book and practice rolling on it and stuff, and I was like, I don't like it. So I got rid of it or sold it or whatever I did with it, and I just haven't come back to it. All right, so I'm not familiar with APBA as much as a lot of the other games I play, so I'm going to get that route right away. But I am very, very familiar with baseball games, creating games. I've got several games under my belt that I've created. I'm in the process of making a hockey game, which I've been working on for 6 years because none of the formats. I can make the most complex hockey game in the world that's most statistically accurate, but it's going to take you 8 hours to play it. You have to decide, is that something you want to do? Is the time you're going to invest in it, is it worth, if you're going to do a season replay of a hockey team, 82 game season, and you're spending 6 to 8 hours to play the game, it's going to take you years and years to complete that, as opposed to another game that only takes you maybe 45 minutes to an hour to play, but it's not as complex, it's not as involved, it doesn't have as many charts or whatever. So I am very familiar with the process of fine tuning complexity versus time to play the game. All right. So again, I'm not familiar with APBA as much as I have been, but the complexity for the Master Edition for me, and I hate to say this because I went out and purchased the Master Edition and I was really looking forward. And when I was gone there for a couple weeks, I actually printed out my Master Edition rules, right? Read them. I actually got these before I actually got the book and the manual and everything. So a lot of this stuff did not make any sense. But once you have the manual and the book, and you can actually reference things back and forth between the manual and the book and see, oh, okay, this is what they're talking about. Oh, I get it. Okay, blah, blah, blah. For me, the complexity of this algorithm for base runner advancements is not time friendly at all. Not time friendly at all. Sorry, if you're an APBA guy, I love it. I love you. There's nothing wrong with the system. I'm just saying the time complexity to analyze and reference those specific numbers. Like I said, it's not just one calculation you need to do. What you have to do is you have to get your speed of the runner. You have to get the arm of the thrower. And in some cases, I should say most cases actually, if we reference something, let's see if I can get one here. You're going to be looking up several runners, or I'm sorry, several arms. So in this case, left fielder is throwing it to center. This is probably going to only happen when you have multiple players. Oh, sorry, multiple players on base. So let me turn to like a second and third, or let's see if I can find a good example for everyone out there. Runners at first and third sounds like a good option here. All right, so well, let's see, is this a good option or not? Well, actually, let's actually look at the actual rule book that actually has it in it, because that way I don't have to reference it, because it can actually show you right out of the Master Edition rule book. If I can find the right page now. Let's see, because I had these out of order because I was keeping track of things I understood and things I didn't understand, and so these might not all be in order. Okay, here we go. So there is actually, we just talked about this. There's a 15-page Master Edition document. Of those 15 pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages are dedicated just to base running and base running advancement because it's so complex. So here's an example right here, right? No, that's not the example. The example is going to be, well, I'll just read it to you right out of the book. How's that? Note, when an outfielder throw is relayed by an infielder, as in example A. So in the example A, if we look at example A here, it's a double over first. It goes to the right fielder who throws it into second base. The second baseman then throws it to the catcher to try and get the runner out at home. So you got the right fielder, you got the second baseman, and you have the catcher. That is example A, right? Example A. The overall arm rating is figured by adding the arm ratings of both throwers and then dividing by 2. So not only do you have to get the arm rating of the right fielder, you also need to get the arm rating of the second baseman. You need to combine those two, and then you need to divide by 2, and that will give you your number you're going to subtract the runner speed from. So it's not just specifically one runner that you're using, or I'm sorry, one arm throw that you're using to get your result on a lot of these different algorithms for success or failure on advancement to runners. For me, that is a problem because that is a lot of extra time and effort. Either A, okay, either A, you need to write this all down on your sheet ahead of time, your score sheets. You're going to have to write all the players' grades down on the score of the game down for it to be something very, very simple. So, a lot of people might say out there, hey, well, that's great and fine there, Mr. IDJ, but what about the Palmerino boards? Well, I'm glad someone brought this up earlier. Here is the Palmerino boards. I actually have these as well. And everyone says, oh, just use these because these are superior to that master system or for whatever reason, okay? Use the Palmerino boards. But you can see the version that I actually have is been photocopied and used repeatedly over and over again through probably from player to player. Quentin Parks is in the house. Al Red Sox is in the house. Thank you, my friends. Thanks, guys. So the version I have was not the best quality or anything at all for that. So before I got my APBA games from the system, I trust my good friend Ken Castro out there. Suggested that I get these boards and look them over and try them out. Well, on vacation, when I was gone, I was trying to figure out and look through this stuff, this mess, and a lot of the numbers are kind of faded or scrunched together, especially when they're underneath all this black mess and everything. So what I'm doing was taking those to work and recreating those boards from scratch. Right? I actually went out and took what was actually there and I recreated the Palmerino boards as best I could in an Excel document. You can see quite a difference in the quality of the numbers. I'm not saying my boards are any different. I'm just taking the stuff off of this and putting it into a format that's crisp and clean and clear so I can actually read it. So I'm very familiar with the Palmerino boards. Probably more familiar with the Palmerino boards than anyone else out there except for Palmerino, just because I had to go through literally every single step and process and numbers and everything on there to recreate the boards exactly the way they were. I didn't change anything, so don't get me wrong, I didn't change anything. But I recreated these boards from scratch in an Excel document, which I had sent out to some of my friends out there so that if they're APBA players and they wanted a fresh, brand new copy of it, they can actually do that. If you want a copy of this document, just send me an email to idgesterlive@gmail.com and I can send it out to you. I'm actually looking for some people to verify all the information that I have. Again, some of this stuff is very hard for me to read. If I can bring this up, you can see the real problem I have, and let me refresh my YouTube wants to be a jerk on my face, so that's always a cool thing. Keeps timing out on me, so hopefully, and all right. So the real problem I have is with the 8s and the 6s, because if you look at, say, line 8 there, it goes 34, 24, 32, 26, and then the next number, is that another 26 or is that a 28? Sometimes it blends together really badly, so I just took a best guess if that was a 36, or I'm sorry, a 26, and specifically I'm talking about this number right here, this 26. Oh, no, next number, my finger can't quite stretch to it, but is that a 28? Is that a 26? Some of them looked like 28. Some of them looked like 26s. Again, just the fact that I've got this photocopied from person, and they probably photocopied it and sent it to somebody, and then they photocopied it and sent it to somebody else, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, Einchabolt, if you want to send those to me, you want to send me your boards, and I'll send you my boards, and we can compare and contrast them. You sent me your email. There you go. And Don will send the real. I believe he was one of the creators. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you want to just email me, idgesterlive@gmail.com, and I can compare my boards and make sure. I'm sure there's probably errors on it when you're, adding thousands and thousands of little numbers time after time after time, right? There's going to be errors. There's going to be problems. I'm sure there are, because I haven't glossed over it myself. I haven't had other people gloss over it very much to make sure everything on it is correct. And then, you have to, because of because of spacing, some things, like I've had to change some of the options here, like when we go to, say, we'll run our first option. As soon as my camera decides to not be a jerk and zoom in, that'd be awesome. Hello, camera. Hello, camera. It doesn't like the white, so it takes a little while. All right, so like double, it's a double. And then I've had to have an A there, right? And then you go down and you read what A says. A says runner scores, and S is out, right? Because I don't have enough space to put all of that information in that says it's a double. What was it? Runner scores, S is out, right? If I don't have enough all that, and then also star scores. So if there's two outs, he will score, right? So I don't have all that space. So sometimes I've had to change and alter some of the, instead of saying single runner to third base, I've had to kind of condense that to SI, So I haven't changed anything. All I did was change the wording of it for space. And you can see that specifically down here in the bottom here, right? Because a lot of times you're going to have a big long explanation for something that I don't have space to put down, right? So I've had to kind of shorthand some of this stuff. Let's see. It gets really bad when you're talking about runners at third base, because then you have a C option and you have a D option, right? So when the runner on third base, some of those options have got to be, here's your C option, and then here's your D option. So like this R-S now stands for run scores, because I don't have the space to put in runner scores. So I've had to kind of condense it. It's a single runner scores. If you're a D, it's ground out 4-3 runner scores. So there's kind of, anyways, all right. So the Palmerino boards, everyone says, well, just use the Palmerino boards. The problem is you still have the same problem on the Palmerino boards, right? You still have the same problems. You still have the same numbers on the boards. Here's a 40, here's a 52, here's a 54. So you still run in the same situation where you're doing advanced calculus to find out whether or not your runner can tag up from third on a fly out to right field. So if you want to do that, that's great. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. But you have to decide, now I got these out of order, is the time it's going to take you to calculate and figure out, what your runner's speed is, and then the outfielder's arms rating, subtract those two numbers, get another number, and then roll on another chart. You got to figure out whether is that speed of doing that, is it worth the extra time? Or is it worth the time to invest in writing out all this information ahead of time so you have it ready to go when you're playing, and you can look and go, okay, well, this runner, if I had my score sheet somewhere, I'll take some of my old sheets. Well, I can look and say, okay, this guy's at first base. He's got this value, this value, this value, and this value. right? But that's all writing all this stuff down takes time ahead of the game, right? So you have to decide whether or not is that extra. Um, I'll send you a copy of mine tomorrow. You don't have to do the calculations, it's automatic. I'm not sure what you mean by that, my friend. Don't have to do the calculations, it's automatic. Can you explain to me what that even? I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I don't get how it's automatic. It's not automatic from what everything that I've read, unless there's some other. You mean on the Palmerino boards? Is that what you're talking about? How is it automatic if there's still a number, 42, a 52, or a 54? I don't get how that's automatic. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just an idiot, which is probably true. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Here's a fly out to left field. Here's our chance to send the runner home on a fly out from on third base. It's 50, 56, or 61. So for me, that's not an automatic. Yes, I put automatic. Oh, and your automatic base advance. Yes. So that's what I want to see. What I want to see, and in fact, that would be the perfect world of both. The perfect world for me, okay, would be to use the advanced rules, because the advanced rules, what they do is they give a pitcher a grade, right? Whatever their number is, a 10, 11, 12, whatever. It goes from 1 to 30, 30 being the best, 1 being the worst, right? They give a pitcher grade. In fact, if we look at our pitchers here, his grade is a 7, so he's a 7, right? And then each batter has a value. We'll just look at these guys real quick down at the bottom. Mike Moore is a right-hander, so he's a right-hander. So down at the bottom, each batter's cards are going to get plus or minuses. Come on, zoom in. Today, there we go. Versus left-hander, he's a +1. Versus a right-hander, he's a -4. So the way this works is a -4, he's 4 worse, so he's going to add 4 to the pitcher's value. So the pitcher was a 7, so he's going to be an 11. So he's going to take that pitcher and he's going to change him from a 7 to an 11. And that can make a big difference, because let's say if we take this 7 here, right, and it goes up to an 11, right, if we roll what is that over there? That is looks like a 5. If I roll a 5, it's going to go from a 7, which is a blank, up to an 11, which is a 7. So it's going to change this home run into a 7, which is a single, right? So that's kind of the cool thing is you can have these. So the perfect world for me would be APBA Advanced or Master Edition, where you get this extra values in here with the pitcher adjustments. And then they also separate each of the different values down here at the bottom, unlike the basic edition, where if you're, say, your shortstop, let's see if we can zoom in here. Come on, there we go. So your shortstop, let's see, shortstop is a 6 or 7. He's going to field 3. If your shortstop's an 8, he's going to field 2. And if he's a 9 or 10, he's going to field 1. So, each of your individual players can have their own column that they're going to be on when they're called into action. Like number 18 is the shortstop. So we would look at the shortstop. Is he a field 1, a field 2, or a field 3? So that can actually be, bring some extra complexity to the game instead of the basic edition. So I like the master charts. Don't get me wrong. I love the master charts. It's not too complex to figure it out or everything. The biggest pain in the ass for me is this calculation algorithm thing that you have to do just to get one runner to move from one base to the next base. So MacBolt says I put automatic base running back in, like on the basic boards. I'll message them tomorrow and I'll see what I mean. I only use the advanced pitching. Right, right. Do you use the advanced fielding as well? Do you use the advanced fielding as well? That'd be interesting to know. So that's my dilemma. Depending on if I can get these boards that give me the best of both worlds, the Master Edition is just for me. It's great. It's just I don't want to have to go through that advanced calculus just to find out if the runner's moving from first to third or first to second on a single. It really shouldn't be that hard. Really, one of the most easy and simplistic things, uh, no matter each baseball system that I've played, should be one of those easy plays to figure out. It should not take find the speed, find the arm, adjust by the pitcher's hold rating, get a final value, subtract it from the value that's on the chart, roll on the chart. It's like six extra steps of things to figure out for a simple thing like a runner moves from first to third. So with all that said, there's nothing. I I actually like it. I think it's good if they can get rid of this mess. And if there's a way, if there's charts out there that have the base stealing, the base stealing, we didn't even talk about the base stealing. Oh my God. Each player is assigned a steal allowance letter. Then you have to look under the chart to see whether or not the runner's allowed to go in certain situations. Let me show you. So your different runner values. Let's see if I can find it here. Hey, the more you go, oh, he's a D stealer. This is when he can steal or not, right? But your A stealer can steal anytime. Your B stealer only when behind by one run, tied or ahead by any number of runs. The C stealer only when behind by one run, tied or ahead by one run or two, and there's one run or two runs. After the sixth inning, when behind by one, tied or ahead by any number. I mean, ugh. When can he steal? And then that's just for second. There's another column for when he wants to steal third. Only with less than two outs and behind by one run, tied or ahead by one run. It's just crazy for me. So I kind of feel like I've actually wasted my money buying the Master Edition because I probably will never use the Master Edition because of the complexity involved where the complexity doesn't override the time it would take. And the reason I say that is because I've got what 5, 6 other projects going on. And the one thing about APBA, right? The one thing if you can talk about APBA baseball is if I was new to APBA or anyone out there and they were like, "Hey, I see you playing APBA. What's that like?" The first thing out of everyone's mouth would be, "It's a super quick, easy game to play." Right? That's kind of APBA's thing, right? All of their games are super quick, easy to play. And that's one of the things that I didn't like when I first got APBA because it seemed like, oh my God, I just roll the dice, I look at a number, and then I move on. And that's kind of boring and generic and everything. But again, if you're just joining me, that was before the internet. That was before looking things up. It was before getting videos and watching videos online and everything like that. That was just my first impression of the game. But that is a good first impression to get. Is when people look at APBA, it's supposed to be a quick, simple, easy game, right? The Master Edition takes it from a quick, simple, easy game to something it's not designed to be. In my personal, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing APBA. Don't be hating me, leaving me lots of bad comments and telling me off in the comments. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm saying APBA took their greatest strength, which is we're a quick and easy, simple game to play. You can teach it in 5 minutes. You can be up and running and playing in 5 minutes, and they turned it into this mess, right? They turned it into this mess. Some of the things they added to the game are awesome, right? Awesome additions. The fact that you have this chart matrix for the pitchers is awesome. This is easy to calculate, right? This is easy to calculate because your batter's going to be out here, your pitcher's going to be out here, and all you have to do is go, okay, he is a -4, he's a 7. I'm going to add 4 to the 7, he's an 11. How hard did that look? It literally took me 10 seconds to do it, right? When we're talking about trying to figure out someone's arm value and the run speed and everything, you're going to actually either have to write all this stuff down ahead of time, which is going to take you 10 minutes to fill out a lineup sheet if you're doing it with pen and paper. If you're not doing it in pen and paper, God help you, right? But if I hit it, then I got to try to find the player. I got to see what his arm is at 27. Okay, he's at 27. I got to subtract 6. That's 21. Wait a minute. He's going to add 1 because he's moved to first of +2, so that's going to take it up to a 22. And now I got to subtract that from a number on the chart. Let's say 22 from 38. That gives me a 16. All right. So I mean, it's not as easy as this. So this is what I like is if you're going to add complexity, add it so that it's easy and quick to do, right? This is easy and quick to do because you're always going to have the pitcher's card out. You're always going to have the batter's card out, and it's an easy, quick step to do. And it doesn't come in all the time. It only comes in when you roll a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or 35, right? So these are the only numbers it does. So if you roll a 26, you just look at 26 and you totally ignore that. So you only use this some of the time. So that's a great addition to the game because it adds complexity for very little time. Complexity for very little time. Good thing. Okay? This base runner advancement algorithm, it's a very little addition for a huge amount of time. For me, that is bad game design. Bad value just to find that simple result out. Or a runner coming from second to home. Or is he going to stop at third base? You're adding a huge time frame for that complexity. So good is what this is. Bad is what the steal value system in this game. Again, little bitty value, little bitty complexity for a huge time investment. Little tiny thing, huge time investment. Base stealing, out. Got to go out. Your base running and base running advancement. Like I said, it's like 6 pages of nonsense. Little thing, big time. It's got to go out. So if I can get this with the basic system, with the steals already built into it, that for me would be the perfect APBA. I thought the Paul Marino boards were going to do that. From what I see, it doesn't. But maybe I have a different version than somebody else because I still have those adjustments that need to be made. So, with all of that said, good or bad, it's up to you. If you want, like I said, some people love super complex games, and there's nothing wrong with that. I play lots of super complex games, not only baseball, but other games. The hockey game is obviously got to be a lot more complex. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when I'm looking at doing a replay for APBA, the thing I want is something that's going to be quick and easy and simple because that's what APBA is known for, right? That's what they're known for. So that's what I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna use the Advanced Master Game Edition. I don't know if I ever will, unless I can find a way to implement the regular things back into this game and get rid of this mess. Unfortunately. So so that's why this whole thing started, because I was talking about, why I've chose what I'm going to chose, and how. So we're going to be playing. I mean, when you look at the basic charts, they are obviously not as complex, but they're, that is going to give you better speed to play the game, right? You're going to know right off the bat what the result is. So I'm going to put this up here out of the way. And hopefully there'll be some players out there, including Einchebold, and I'm probably pronouncing his name incorrectly. I apologize for that. As everyone knows, I'm not the best name caller. Name caller. Um, I don't pronunciation is not my expertise. We'll just say that, right? So you'll see that when I start calling out these players' names. So the next thing I have to decide is, well, what in the hell am I going to do with keeping track of stats? So there's obviously pen and paper if you're going to do it this way. I'm not a big pen and paper kind of guy. Maybe for a one-off or something like that, that's fine. But if I'm going to if I'm going to do a replay with a lot of games in it, I don't want to have to keep track of, pen and paper and stats and all that. That's nonsense, right? So I'm not going to do that. So the next thing was, well, I got to find either replay baseball or Stratomatic baseball, which will actually give me, I can actually input the data, input the game as we progress through it into the system. Replay baseball, big thumbs down to replay baseball. Big thumbs down to replay baseball. They do not have the 1986 season in their repertoire of game seasons that you can buy. So big thumbs down to them, which means I would have to use Stratomatic, buy the Stratomatic season uh, to play the APBA system. And, well, two things with that. Number one, the Stratomatic input system is not quick, right? Because you actually have to, if I had a runner at first and second, and I have a double play, I actually have 6 things I need to enter into the game just to get a double play, right? So it takes, it takes a lot of extra time. And since I want to try to play this quick and fast and easy and simple, right, which is what APBA is known for, Stratomatic just doesn't do it quick and easy and simple like that. Simple ground out is you got to, out, then you got to tell the position, ground out to third, and then it throws it from third to first. You got to input all this stuff, so it's not fast. I want something that's going to be fast and quick and easy. So, and then the other thing was Stratomatic. I mean, how can you use a Stratomatic game engine to keep track of APBA stats and stuff? It just seems like blasphemy, right? So I decided, long story short, I decided to go with just a simple old ball score. Of course, it won't keep track of all the stats for the other teams, the games they don't play against California, unfortunately, but uh, I can at least enter ball score data quick and fast this way, right? So, yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So all that, and we've been going for an hour and 4 minutes. Unbelievable. I'm gonna blow up my chart here, or my dice tower. So anyways, we're going to be playing California for all the reasons stated, the 1986 reason for all the reasons stated. We're going to be using, at least at this time, basic APBA until I can find some charts that take the best of the basic system and the best of the advanced, the master system, and combine them together. And if that's a possibility, then I will be more than happy to play that. But until that time, the complexity versus the time is not worth for the Master Edition, in my opinion. In my opinion. So anyways, we're going to be playing California. Game number 1 of the season. All that said and done. Game 1 of the season is April 8th, 1986. California goes and plays at Seattle. Let's look at your starting lineup. Yes, we're actually going to try to get some wonderful gameplay in for you guys. Thanks for being patient, by the way. And I don't mind debating any of this stuff, or if you have any questions, that's fine as well. Where the hell is my screenshot? There it is. It's the screenshot number 4. There we go. All right, let's move this over here. Because then the other thing is they've got this huge master book I need to, keep up kind of out of the way, but I also have to see the chat. I also have to see my ball score and all that stuff. So anyways, let's look at the starting lineups. Starting lineups go like this. Bobby Grich, Bobby Grich, he's going to play second base. Rupert Jones, right field. This is Wally Joyner. I think, if I'm not mistaken, is this not his rookie season, Wally Joyner? Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking something else. He's at first base. Reggie Jackson, he's somebody I remember. He's DH. Doug DeCinces, I remember him, third base. Brian Downing's in left field. Rick Rolfin, I think I remember his name, but I'm not going to say for sure. He's the shortstop. Gary Pettis is the center fielder, and that's it. So one thing we do have to do is we have to calculate all of our numbers up, right? Pitching, right? So that's going to be Michael Witt. Michael Witt's a 2. So we're going to add 2. He is an 8, so that's 10. Jones is a 2, that's a 12. He's Joyner's a 4, that's a 16. Jackson's D8, so we don't count him. 16 plus 5 for DeCinces is a 21. Downing's a 1, so that's 22. Burleson's an 8, so that's a 30. And Pettis is a 3, so that's 33. So they are line up a 33. So they're going to be fielding 3 today. For your Seattle Mariners, yay, Seattle! Danny Tartabull. Now, remember my Kansas City Royals replay? Danny Tartabull? He was fast becoming one of my favorite players on that team. He was, especially in the middle of the season, he was doing really well. So Danny Tartabull, he's out in second base, actually. He's playing second base today. Phil Bradley, he's the left fielder. Ivan Calderon is the right fielder. Gorman Thomas, he's the DH. Alvin Davis is at first. Jim Presley's at third. Dave Henderson, center fielder. This is before he goes. I think he actually, yes, he goes to Boston because he's actually got a Boston card. So I think he goes to Boston at the end of the season. Steve Yeager is the catcher. And Spike Owen is the shortstop. So let's calculate up the Mariners defense. Tartabull is second, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9 for Bradley. 1 for Calderon, that's 10. Gorman is the DH, so we ignore him. So it's 10 plus the first baseman's a 2, that's 12. Presley's a 4, so that's a 16. Henderson's a 2, that's an 18. Yeager's a 7. 18 to 7 is 25. Spike Owen is an 8. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. And 2 for the catcher is 35. So both teams fielding 3 today. Why did I criticize Replay Baseball for not having the 1986 season when Strat has the 1986 season, but you don't want to use their system to keep stats? Wouldn't it be the same issue with Replay? Well, here's Bob, welcome. First, he's a Cardinals fan, and what I can say is, how about Albert last night, huh? Getting the home run against the Cardinals and getting a standing ovation in Cardinal Stadium. What a moment for the fan base, for fans of Albert Pujols himself, and for baseball in general to show that even though you are competitors against other teams, doesn't mean you have to hate that team. Or hate the players on that team, right? So, nothing but kudos to the Cardinals fans, the Pujols, and the whole situation. Anyways, the question was, why did you criticize Replay Baseball for not having the 1986 season when Strat has the 1986 season, but you don't want to use their system to keep stats? Wouldn't it be the same issue with Replay? No. Replay Baseball is much simpler to get your plays input. It's basically one click of the dice. If I have a double play, let's say I have a runner at first and second, and I have a double play that goes 4-6-3. Replay Baseball, all I have to do is click the 4-6-3 button, and boom, I'm done. One click, done. Stratomatic, I have to input out at first, out at second, ball to second baseman, ball to shortstop, ball to first base. So I have to enter 5 or 6 different things to get one play result. Now, of course, just strikeouts. All right, if we look at just strikeouts, which happen all the time. All right, in replay baseball, you click the K button, boom, you're done. All right, in Stratomatic, you have to click strikeout, and then you have to put the position of catcher in. It will actually not let you do anything until you put a position in. So you have to put the catcher as the player that made the out, and then hit the OK button. So Stratomatic input system is way, way worse than replay baseball. So if I'm going to replay a season, the first thing I would always do is check replay first to see if they have the season. And if they don't have the season, then I would use Stratomatic because of the input system. So thanks for the question. You can check some of my videos on Stratomatic. No, you can't because you don't actually see that part. I do all that behind the scenes, so you won't see me having to put that in. But yeah, it's a real pain in the ass. And I don't even know if they have shortcut keys. Not that that would help me because I don't have access to my keyboard's not here in front of me, so it'd be a little bit harder. But anyways, so both teams are fielding 3 today. Pitching, Michael Moore, he's a C pitcher, no other stats, so no X, no Y, no Z, no W, just no G, all that crazy nonsense, right? Mike Witt, he's a B pitcher. Mike Moore is a C pitcher. So when you do basic, right? So you get your pitching grade D, C, B, and A. Hope you guys can't see all of them, but there's 4 different grades. So he's going to start as a C pitcher, and for Mike Witt, he's a B pitcher, so he'll be using this column, which can make a difference. For C grade pitchers, a 8 is a single, while B grade pitchers it's a fly out to center. So that's how your different pitchers interact. And then, of course, Mike Witt is also an X and a Z. And we're going to get things going. So we'll find out. Again, quick, easy, simple. If there was an easy way to do it, I'm going to find out. Someone created a set of hybrid boards for APBA combining basic and master. People say are really good. I'll email you the file, says Bob. I'm looking for anything out there. I've got the Merino boards, as we mentioned. If you're looking for the Merino boards, an updated version of the Merino boards, email me and let me know because, like I said, if you're just joining us, which Bob I think is, so I'm going to go through this one more time real quickly for you guys that have been here for a little while. I apologize, but Bob might need to know this. Where are my freaking charts? So charts I got from some people out there. Basically, they are old and used and abused and copied 50 different ways from Sunday and whatever. And some of the times you can't actually read all the lettering, especially when you're looking at 6s and 8s, which kind of blend together when you start copying them a lot of times. So what I ended up doing was recreating these sheets into an Excel spreadsheet. So I've got basically a copy of the Merino boards in Excel. So it's kind of crisp and clean and new looking, as opposed to you can see how old and faded these numbers are. I'm not 100% sure that all of this is 100% accurate because I haven't gone over and double checked anything. But if you're interested in them, let me know. I will be more than happy to share with everyone. All right, here we go. Robert Grinch, the Grinch who stole Christmas. Let's see if he's going to steal Angel Hearts. Aww. 54. 54 is a 32. 32 is going to be a fly to... 32 is a fly to right. All right. Oops. It'll help if I click back on my ball score. Fly to right. Nope. Fly to right. Well, that started off great, didn't it? All right, so that brings up Ruber Jones one away. 21. 26. 26. Grounders second. 2 away. Joyner. Wally Joyner. 41. 24. Grounders short. It's 1-2-3 inning. Look how quick that is. Now, I mean, okay. So we've gone 1 hour and 16 minutes of me bitching and complaining and and not really bitching and complaining. Let's be honest, I did not bitch and complain. I was more just talking and showing you what I like and what I don't like. Now, some people might consider that bitching and complaining. Of course, my wife, she would say that, but it's not really me bitching and complaining. It's really being honest with you guys and talking about the pros and cons of stuff, right? Danny Tartable. But we went. The reason I said that is, it was an hour and 16 minutes of that, and then literally the first inning was what, like a minute, right? Or the first half of the first inning was like a minute. That's why I love APBA. If you want to play a nice, quick, easy game, that's why I'm so disappointed with the Master Set. So disappointed with it, and it breaks my heart. It really does. All right, Danny Tartable, ex Kansas City Royal, 42. That's a 14, and he's got a double Z. That's going to be a walk. So walk, Danny Tartable. Philip Bradley, 6-6. That one is going to be rolled again. That one's hit well. Let's see where this one's going. 56 is 6 with a run. Oh, I guess I'm going to flip my chart. This is a 6. Flip it over. Here we go. I'm still not sure the best way to do this. Bob says, you bitched and complained a teeny tiny little bit. Duh, 6. What did we say it was? It was a 6. It's a double over first, runner to third, and that runner scores. And Tartable is a fast runner. He will score. So just like that, double and runner scores. Boom, boom, moving on. Look how I love how quick and easy this is. This is a nice change of pace. When you play, say, inside pitch, you play super advanced, Stratomatic. I'm trying to think of some of the other. You play payoff pitch. Getting a result that's quick and easy like this, sometimes it's nice, right? Sometimes, let's be honest, it's nice. And no, I didn't bitch and complain, Bob. Come on now, you know better than that. Bob, you know better than that. All right, so I got to find a better way to put this, where to put this damn chart. I'm going to put it like over there. There we go. All right. Runner second, Ivan Calderon, 62. 62. 13 struck him out. Big strikeout there for Mike Witt. Whatever happened to your payoff pitch charts? Did you ever finalize them? Yes and no. I've kind of finalized them because I haven't had any feedback on them for a long, long time. So I've kind of decided if no one's giving me any feedback, then I guess we're done with them. So Thomas Gorman, 14, 30. 30 with a runner on second. And the other thing is, damn, I forgot. See, I already screwed up. Damn it. Let's go back to that runner on first. Double. Was that a runner on first double? It shouldn't have been, actually. Runner on first, he's a B grade pitcher. It should have been an out at first, runner to second. So instead of a double, how was it a double to begin with? Oh, he rolled a 6, right. It was, I'm sorry, it was a double. Right. It was, okay. It was a 6, not an 8. I was looking at the 8 column. So good thing I didn't mess that up too badly. That would have been embarrassing, right? All right, what do we do? Thomas Gorman, he rolled a 14, which is a 30. We have a runner on second base. Yes, second. 30. Don't forget, we're all fielding 3 today, right? So 3's the worst of the options, right? Fielding 3, 35 or fewer. Yes, right. Okay. 30 is a fly out to left. Runners hold. 7. Two-way. 13 is a 14. He's going to walk, I believe. Base on balls. Yep, walked another runner. Runners are first and second now, so I got to get to that chart. First and second. There's got to be a better way. from my chart. 53. Struck him out. On the inside. Shit. Undo. I hit the walk instead of the strikeout. All right. Let's try that again. Strikeout. There we go. All right. So after 1 inning of play, the Seattle Mariners 1, the California Angels 0. Due up. Reggie Jackson. I gotta find a better place to put this big ass chart. Look at that. Holy cow. I like the thick, cardboard of it. The only thing I don't like is how damn big it is and trying to find a nice spot that doesn't cover up both of my computer screens at the same time. Reggie Jackson, top of second. 2-2. That sounds like a good number. That is an 8. Now we got to go back to 8 with no one on. Runner 8 for Reggie. And he's a C pitcher. C pitcher 8 is single to left center. So Reggie's in there with an A1. That's going to be a single. Doug DeSensei, see what he can do. California coming alive here. Oh, 2-2 again. That's a 7 with a runner at first. C grade, single to right, runner to third. Runner to third, so runners at the corners and nobody out. Runners at first and third. What I might do is, I'm trying to think of a better first and third. I'm trying to think if there's a better way, where to put these charts. That's all I'm looking for. All right, let's try that. All right, let's set that. All right, so here we go. Brian Downing. 6-6 gone. Brian Downing hits one far and deep, and, well, I should double check just to make sure. Gone. Yes, okay. 1 is going to be a 1. So Brian Downing, the Incredible Hulk, goes deep, his first at-bat of the season, and California takes a 3-1 lead. Oop, fouls that one off. Rick Burleson. The newer booklet is smaller. This is brand new, dude. Literally got it in the mail on Friday. It doesn't get much newer than that. 45. Burleson, 45, 14 walks. So we're back to bases empty chart. So Burleson aboard. That brings up Gary Pettis. No, shouldn't bring up Pettis. It should bring up Bob Boone. Why do I not have Bob Boone out? Maybe that's why they're fielding 33 is because we don't have all their players out then. I wonder if I don't have Bob Boone's card, maybe. Let's see. Bob Boone, right there he is. He's a 9, which I'm going to have to calculate their defense again because this might, maybe that's why their defense sucked. Second base. That's 8. 2 is 10, 14, 15. Oh, wait. Jackson doesn't count. So 8, 10, 14, 14 still, 19, 20, 28, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 37, 40, and 2 for the pitcher. They should be a 42. That's why they are not fielding. They are fielding 42. They're going to field 1. That's why. I was like, why is California's defense so shitty? That's why, because they don't actually have all the players on their lineup there. As Bob Boone was late getting out of the dressing room, I guess. All right, Bob Boone. So California is fielding 1. Seattle fielding 3, just so you know. 31. 31 is a 14, so Bob is going to walk. So back-to-back walks here by Michael Moore. 21, that should be Pettis, right. 21 for Pettis with bases, runners at first and second. Yeah, this is still sucky. Yeah, I need to get the smaller charts. I like the big charts, but it's bulky as fuck. It just takes up so much room. Good Lord. All right, so runners at first and second. Pettis rolled to 21. That is a 30. They're fielding 3, fly out to left. Runners hold. Fly to left. And then runners hold. Back up to the top of the lineup. Bobby Gritch. Bobby Gritch. The Grinch who sold Christmas. Popped flew out to right field his first time up. 2-2. That is a 7. Pitcher is a C7 with runners at first and second. C7. Single to left. 1 runner scores. Runner at first is Bob Boone's at first. He is a slow runner. He was going to be thrown out at the plate. Single to left, 1 scores. S out at home and batter to second. And that's going to be single to left, 1 scores. S out at home, batter to second. And then that's left field to catcher, other to third. All right. So it's going to be a batter hit a single. Oh, no, wait. S out at home. That would be the runner at third is S out at home. No, it would be the runner at second, Burleson. Duh. Hello, wake up. Burleson, he's average, so he's not out. He will score, tie this bed. Oh, no. And then moving to third will be Boone on the throw. There we go. Yeah, that took me a second to figure that one out. All right, brings up Rupert Jones. 45 is a 14. Now that's interesting. I've never seen that before. Maybe one of you APBA experts can tell me. 45 is a 14 star. Never seen that before. I don't know if that makes any difference or not. So runners at first and third. 14 star. I don't see anything on the chart for a star. So I'm just going to put him down as a walker then. Rupert Jones, that's going to fill the bases. And Michael Moore is getting hammered here in the second inning. California come to play. Walk and stolen base. Is that what the star means? Right. It makes sense because of my National Pastime Next Generation Plus. They kind of do the same thing with the star. Well, I'm going with what Tabletop Baseball says because he knows fucking everything. So we're going to steal second. No, we can't because it's occupied. Right. Bases loaded for Wally Joyner. 1 away. Oh, 33, and it's going to get worse for them. That is a 6. And California, with bases loaded, rolls a 6. C pitcher, and he's going to fall a grade because he's given up 5 runs now. Wally Joyner with a 6. Is that what he rolled? 33 is a 6. So C grade pitcher. That is going to be a triple over third. It's a first column, so we don't have to worry about that mess. That's going to be a triple in the corner, and that's going to clear the bases. And this might be it for Mr. Moore, as he's now given up 7 runs. California, watch out. That brings up Jackson. To make the call to pen this early in the game? Good Lord. Well, he drops a grade, so he goes from C to D. Your next pitcher's a D grade already. Ugh. I think he might just have to take one for the team here. It batted around in the second. That's crazy already. California, wow. That's a good choice to play these guys. 34. What do we have here? Runner at third now. Runner at third. 34, 31. They're fielding 3. Fly ball to center. Does a run score is the question. Oh, yep, runner scores if it's not the last out. Hang on a minute. How many outs are there? There is only 1 out. Really? Wow. All right, so it's a fly ball. What did I say? 31 is center. And tagging up, coming in is Joyner. Nice. Jackson with the sacrifice fly out there. Nice. So it is 8-1. And fielding, pitching D now to Sensei. Oh, another 33. You saw that. I threw it in there too. Base is empty. We're back to the 5 on the base is empty now. Wow, California is going to get. California is going to be a team to be reckoned with. I'm telling you that. So far, so good. It's a double 5 with the D grade pitcher. So that's going to be a double. And this is batter number, let's see, it's 9, 10, 11. This will be batter number 12 coming up in this inning. 26 is 32, runner at first. 32, fly out to right, runners hold. And that's going to do it, but what an inning for California. 8 runs. Ouch. That's brutal. Mike Moore needs to hit the shower. I thought about taking him away, but good Lord, you're going to replace him with another D pitcher? He does have at least have a Y. Michael Moore doesn't have anything. Wait a minute. Dave Henderson is up. Should be Henderson. Why do I not see Henderson? Presley. There's Dave Henderson. Dave Henderson should be up. Not sure why I was out of order there. Dave Henderson, center fielder. 61 to 40. We're back to bases empty, 40. Fielding 1. That's a foul. Unless he has a walk. He does not have a walk, so that's a foul ball on Henderson. 24. 13 struck him out. Nope. God damn it. Keep hitting the wrong button. Keep hitting walk when I should be hitting strikeout, dude. Strikeout. There we go. So Henderson down on strikes. Jägermeister. I think the 50-50 catches some unfair criticism at time. If batter hits a historical .190 versus Rivera, for example, then the game is delivering accuracy. Sure. 34. 34 is a 31. What do we have? Bases empty, 31. 31 fielding 3. Fly out to center. Oh, I'm sorry. They're fielding 1. It's still a fly out to center, though. So 2-way for Spike Owens. What do we got there? 65. It's a 35. Ground ball to first. And that was another easy inning for Michael Witt. Michael Witt. We're going to give Moore the rest of the day off here because he's not very good. We're going to bring in Marabella. Doesn't bat. So Marabella is going to come in. See what he can do. 64, 13 struck him out. Hey, look at him go. 1 out. Brings up Bob Boone. First time up, he walked. That's a 12-25. Grounder to ground ball to second. Brings up Pettis. Damn. 65. That one's ground ball down to Alvin Davis. He'll take it to the bag himself. And look at that. Marabella, 1-2-3 inning. Danny Tartanbull, 45. Walks him. Come here. 21, 13 struck him out. That's what I like about this, to be honest. I mean, APBA should use their strength. Their strength is it's a quick, easy game, not too complex. You can learn it in 5 minutes. Use that to your advantage. 23. That's a 12. That's interesting. 12 with the runner at first. That's going to be a double play. 4-6-3, double play. Fielding 1. Very nice. California. They're going to be a team to be reckoned with, I think. Pettis made the last out, so we're back to the top of the lineup. The Grinch, 1 for 2 on the day. 21 is a 26. That's going to be grounder to second. Rupert Jones, walk and a ground out. 25 is a 9. Now that's going to be interesting. He is a D pitcher. D and a 9 gives us a single over short. So Rupert Jones on. Brings up Joyner. Triple, 3 RBIs in the second. 51. That's an 8. Boy, it doesn't get much better than this. Good Lord. We have a runner on first. We roll an 8 against a D pitcher. That's a single over center. Runner to second. If there's 2 outs, he would go to third, but there's not 2 outs. So that's going to be a, nope, it's not going to be an out. We know that. It's going to be a single. Runner moves to second. So Jones and Joyner, the JJs, are on. That brings up to the other JJ, Reggie Jackson. 1 for 2 with the single. Whoop, foul ball. (52-27) runners at, what do we have? First and second. First and second. What did he roll? 52. He rolled a 27, fielding 3. Out at first, runners advance to base. That's going to be a 5-3 putout. He's not a K, so it's going to be a 5-3 putout. Everyone advances a base. Going to third, you're going to second, dude. That's not that hard to figure out. So Jackson grounds out for the second out. DeSensei, runners in second and third. Second and third. There we go. That's a 46 off of DeSensei. That's a 27, fielding 3. Out at first, 5-3 put out again. So, Marabella, maybe he should have started the game. He's pitched 2 pretty good innings. Bottom of 4. Gorman's up. 45. He walked him. Oh, come on. I did not mean to do that. Now you're crazy. So walk Gorman. Alvin Davis. 41. We got a runner on first now. 41 is a 24. Fielding 1, 24, double play, 6-4-3. Wow. It doesn't get much better if you're a California Angel fan. Good Lord, everything is going right for them. James Presley struck out his first time up, 21. Struck out, and that's going to do it. Jeez Louise. Wow, this is like super easy. It's like playing a triple A team versus like a double A team. It seems like. Downing, home run, fly out to right. 2-2, and the hits continue. That's an 8 against a D is a single. I'll take a single. Downing's on. Burleson. Oh, threw that one in there too hard. That one's foul. $33. Wow, unbelievable. That is a 0. It's going to be a hit. Let's see what kind of hit it is. 42. That is 6 with a runner on first. He's a D pitcher, runner at first, 6. Double over first, runner moves to third. F runner scores. That's Downing. He is a slow runner. He will not score. So it's a single, runner to third. Oops, hang on a second. What happened? Okay, let's undo that. He hit somehow. It's going to be a single. There we go. And Downing moves to third. So runners at first and third, nobody out. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Baboon, 16. 28 runners at first and third. That's way back in the book. 16 again. What was it? 28. Fielding 3. It's a single to left. One run scores. The other moves to second. D safe at first. Oh, if they were playing back, yeah, they're okay. So wait a second, they were not playing in. Sorry. Let's start again. It's a 28. The C is right. So it's a D because they were playing back. They're playing deep. So it's safe at first. Fielder's choice. Runner out at second. Other runner scores. So it's going to be a 6-4 on the fielder's choice. There we go. All right. Took me a second to realize what I was doing there. Another run comes in. That's the fielder's choice. 9-1. Barry Pettis. 23. Rolled at 12. Runner at first. Fielding 3. Safe at first. Runner out. Fielder's choice 4-6. 4-6 fielder's choice this time. And so two-way now for top of the lineup. Robert Grich. 35. Walked him. Low on the outside corner. That ball is out of there. Rupert Jones is 1 for 2 with a walk. 44, and the hits continue. That's an 8. Runners at first and second, and an 8 on a D. Unbelievable. 8 on a D. It's a single over shore. One runner scores. The other runner moves to second unless there's 2 outs, which there is. In that case, he will move to third on the single. One run scores. The other will move to third. Another run in. It is now 10-1. If you want to see the power of California, you're watching it. Wally Joyner, 2 for 3. Triple and a single. 15-10. Runners at first and third. 10, the hits continue. D pitcher, single over second, one runner scores. The other runner's out at third. Batter moves to second on the center field to third base putout. Wow. So it's a single. Runner scores. The other runner is out at third. Unbelievable. And it's going to be assist to center field, and the out is going to go to the third baseman. Good play there by Seattle. That brings up the bottom of the fifth, 11-1 ball game. 44, Henderson with the hit. 44 is an 8. And Witt is a B pitcher. That is going to be actually a fly out to center field. Fly out to center on the 8 with the B pitcher. Jägermeister. 33. Maybe they'll get a hit this time. 8. Nope. Same thing. It's going to be a fly out to center. A B pitcher. It definitely helps. That's 2 8s in a row. Keep rolling 8s. You're going to keep getting outs. Try a different number. 61. Well, they'll try a 32. 32 is going to be a fly out to right. Actually, no. Wait a minute. So he got a K. He does not. He's got an X in his Z right. So it's still going to be a fly out to right. And beat goes on here in the 6th. 8. 11-1. Reggie Jackson, single fly out to center and a ground out to third. 36 is a 33. Fielding 3. Fly out. Popped him up. Second base. Went away to Sensei. He's 2 for 3. A single and a double. 6-6, and that one is headed out. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Doug DeSensei, triple away from the cycle with the home run. Brian Downing, he's got a homer and a single as well. 45 is a walk. Rick Burleson. 2-2, runner first. Runner first, 7, single, runner to third. And that's going to be a P. Okay, so runners are first and third for Bob Boone. Bob Boone is actually walking 2 outs. So what is he going to do here? Nothing. Just go. 21. It's a 26. Runners at first and third. Fielding 3. What was that number? 21. There's so many numbers. 21. 26. Again, they're playing back. So out at first. Runner scores 4-3 on the ground out. Runner does score. What happens? Oh, I don't have the ring on a second. This is first and third. I had the third. 26 is going to be, they're playing deep, obviously. Safe at first. Fielder's choice. Runner out is second. The other runner scores. So it's going to be a 4-6. Attempted double play fails. All right, so let's cancel that. Let's try this again. Let's try that again. Undo. All right. It's going to be fielder's choice. 4-6. Runner's going to score. There we go. All right. Gary Pettis. 6-6. And Pettis got a 0. So this is going to be it for Marabella. And he rolled a 55 on this 6-6. So 55 is going to be a 2, second column 2, runner at first. A second column 2, if that matters. D pitcher and a 2, triple along the right field foul line. Second triple of the ball game for California. And this one is ugly and not very fair at this point. So Peter Ladd is going to try to come in here. Ladd. Top of the lineup. Here we are in the 6th inning. It's 14-1. Could you imagine? Wow. Well, California doing everything right. 15 hits. 56. 56 struck him out. Nope. And I put down walk again. Why do I do that? I do that every time now. Undo. Yes, undo. Struck him out. That's the S. Because I have to reach over my huge ass scoreboard. And that's going to do it for the top of the 6th inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 14-1. Danny Tarnable. 53-16. Fielding 1. 16. Foul to center. Phil Bradley. Double and a strikeout. 54 is a 32. Fly out to right unless he's a K. He's not a K. He's a fly out to right. And Ivan Calderon. He's 0 for 2. 2-2. That is a 7 versus the B pitcher. That's a single. He's got a single. Thomas. 62, 13 struck him out. Strike 3, you're out of there. All right. Peter Laird. He's going to try something. He's a C pitcher. He does have an X and a Z as well. And 24. 13 struck him out. Rupert Jones down on strikes. That brings up Wally Joyner, 2 singles and a triple. 14-30, fielding 3, fly out to left. Unless he is a K. No K. No K. So 30 is going to be fly to left. Reginald Jackson, 1 for 4. 35. He's going to walk that time. Doug DeSensei. Triple from the cycle. Doug DeSensei. 55. 55. What do we have? Runner first. 55 is an 8 with a C pitcher. C and an 8. That's a single. Runner moves to second. If there's 2 outs, he would move to third. There is 2 outs. So it is going to be a single. Runner is going to advance to third. So DeSensei gets a single instead of a triple and does not hit the cycle. Brian Downing, 24, struck him out. That's going to do it. We're stretching time here. I think most people are stretching their legs to get out of the stadium. Which is going on. Davis, 0 for 1 with a walk. 35, walked him. 2 walks now for Davis. James Presley, 23, 12, fielding 3. That is a ground ball to third. Hang hang on a second. I gotta undo that again. Undo score sheet. That is not, because there's a runner in first. I forgot about him. That's gonna be your 4-6-3 double play is what that's gonna be. No, 4-6-3. It's gonna be, yes, 4-6-3. So it's a lot of double plays they've hit into. Let's see, that is 1, 2, 3 double plays in 7 innings. Not great. Dave Henderson. Whoa, foul ball there, Dave. 25, 2-5. That's an 8 for Henderson with the bases empty. B pitcher, 8, fly out to center. This 8s are not good against Witt. It's going to get it every time. B pitcher. A pitcher as well, I guess. Yep. All right, so that brings up Burleson. 2 for 4, 2 for 3 and a walk. 63 is a 31, fielding 3, fought to center. Bob Boone, 0 for 3 with a walk. Strike him out on the outside corner. Gary Pettis, 1 for 4 with a triple. 34, pops him up. Popped it short. All right, Witt, he's coming out. He can go 32 batters. He's only gone not even 27 yet. Yeager, 1-1. That's a 7 versus the B. That's a single. So Yeager with the hit. Spike Owens. 53 is a 19, fielding 1. Out at first, 5-3 put out. Was grounded hard down to Jim Presley. Throws it over to Alvin Davis. Ah, God damn it. I gotta undo it again. This just didn't advance the runner for me. Stupid thing. So, no. Go with ground out to third. Thank you. You're going to advance a second. I'm not sure why it doesn't auto advance him if it's a ground out. All right. Stupid scoreboard. 1 out. Runner at second now. See if we can. Tartable, who's 2 walks so far. And Danny with an 8. Runner at second. Let's see if the 8 makes a difference. 8 out at first. Runner to third. So it's pitcher to first. Ground ball back to the pitcher. And you're advancing. So Tartable's out. 2 away now for Phil Bradley. 25 is an 8 with a runner at third. 28, fielding 1 is out at first. Ground ball to short. Making the play out there is Rick Burleson. And that's going to do it. Side retired. All right. Top of 9. The Grinch. Look at that. 5 at bat so far. He's going to get a 6 at bat. He's got a walk, a single, a strikeout, a ground out, and a pop out. 6-6. He's got a 0. What's he need? Nope, he can't get the cycle, so he's got a 22 is what he's got, and that one is hit high and far, and it is Gonorowski. Another home run. That is A4. Okay, I'll try and remember that. A4. So Grinch with this home run. California Angels flexing their muscles here. 15 runs. Jones. 54. That's a 32. Fly to right. Just wanted to make sure he didn't have the strikeout. One away. Wally Joyner, 3 for 5. 15 is a 10. That doesn't sound good if you're a Seattle Mariner fan. He is a C grade. C and a 10. Single. So Joyner goes 4 for 6. A triple and 3 singles. That is, wow. Reginald Jackson is gone. 1 for 4 with a walk. 36, 33. We have a runner at first. Runner at first, 33. Popped him up to third. So Doug DeSensei. Now Doug DeSensei, I didn't think he was going to get up again, but he's got a single in the first, a double in, I'm sorry, he's got a single in the second. He also has a double in the second inning. He was up twice in the second inning. He got a single and a double. Then he got a ground out to third in the fourth. He got a home run in the sixth, and he's got a single in the seventh, which means if he can somehow, some way get a triple out of this, he's got a cycle. And I threw it right across the table. So that was a foul ball, obviously. Sensei trying to go for the cycle. The only thing left in the game for us to figure out is whether or not he got a cycle in opening day. 25. It's probably not. It's a 9 with the runner at first. 9 runner at first. He is a what? C pitcher? Yes. A 9 out at first, runner to second. So that's a 5. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a 5-1 put out. So basically ground ball down to third, right? And you're going to move to second for me. Thank you. So DeSensei, two chances at it. Trying to get that triple. Couldn't get either one. So we go to the bottom of the ninth. Witt's going to go complete game here, it looks like. It's 27, 28, 29. He can go 32, so unless he messes this up. 45, 4-5. Walked him. Well, that's a good way to mess it up. Gorman Thomas, he is 0 for 2 with a walk. 21, he strikes out. I have a runner on first for Alvin Davis. 21 is a 26, fielding 1. Batter is safe, fielder's choice on the 4-6. So fielder's choice, 4-6. All right, so Seattle's down to their last out. Johnny Smoke. Johnny Smoke's here for the last out. Thank you for joining me, Johnny Smoke. It was over. It was decided a long time ago in the second inning where 13 batters came up in the second inning for California. It was horrible for Seattle fans. It is 15-1. What a game for California. I'm trying to close this out. 56 is a 34. Runner first. Fielding 1. 34. It's a high fly ball. It's into short. Left field. Headed back is the shortstop, Rick Burleson. In comes the left fielder, Brian Downey, who's going to make the catch. Burleson calls him off and makes the catch. Side retired. End of the game. And this one belongs to the Angels. Why would it say 10 plus? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not sure why. I told it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sure why the scoreboard shows 10. Maybe I need to refresh that after it after we batted all these. No, it still says insert batter around for second inning. I did. Didn't update the scoreboard though. I'm not sure why that is. I will defend the 55th system due to what pitchers allow is based on near the same formula as the batters, except for the X chances, which makes defense make a difference as it should be. Sure, sure. We can debate that sometime. Uh, so now, I'm not sure, yeah, because I messed that up. I need to, no. Let's see, can I undo? No. God damn it. 'Cause now I've moved the third inning over. I shouldn't have. No. Shouldn't have moved that third inning over. All right. Well, anyways, that is APBA basic, advanced, basic. No, it's not advanced. Basic version. Nice, quick, easy system. You can go back and watch the first hour of this video where we talk about why California and the reasons behind it, why APBA basic, why the charts for the master system suck, and how disappointed I am in the master system. And if you got any charts or anything, updated charts for me, let me send them to me, idgesterlive@gmail.com, idgesterlive@gmail.com. Send it to me because I would love to see a combination of the basic advanced charts that get rid of that unbelievably complex, convoluted, junky base runner advancement system, steal advancement system, but keeps in the pitcher adjustments. So look forward to hearing from everyone. We'll be on later with some more. We've got lots of things to do today, but hopefully I understand the complaints about batter cards roll for an exceptional pitcher, but even the best batters have outs on their cards, just a few less. All right. We'll debate it sometime. But for now, we'll see everyone next time. I got to go. We'll see everyone next time. Thanks, guys. Johnny Smoke, Bob B, Michael Rosso, Tabletop Baseball, Sports Time Machine, I Mock Bolt. Sorry, I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Clinton Parks, Jesse James, Max Cornelius. Everyone, thanks, guys. See you all next time.